Have you ever looked at a maths exam and wondered what really separates a good answer from a great one? Well, it's not always just about getting that final number right. Today, we're going to go behind the scenes of a real exam paper. We're going to uncover the hidden rules of the marking game and show you exactly how to score every single mark you deserve. Okay, let's get into it.
You know this feeling, right? You're looking at the front of the exam paper. The clock is ticking, but getting a top grade here isn't just about being a math genius. It's about strategy. It's about understanding how your paper is seen by the person on the other side, the examiner.
So, here's our game plan. We'll start with the basics, right on the front of the paper. Then we'll take a look at the different kinds of questions you might face. After that, we are going to pull back the curtain on the examiner's secret weapon, the mark scheme. We'll decode its language, see it in action, and then finally build your winning strategy.
Right, first things first. Before you even write down your name, the exam paper itself gives you a checklist of everything you'll need. Think of it as your essential toolkit for getting the job done.
The instructions are super clear about what you need to have with you. You've got your ruler, protractor, compasses, pen, pencil, eraser, and for this particular paper, a calculator and the formula sheet they give you. Look, being prepared with the right gear means you're not going to lose easy marks or waste precious time fumbling around.
Okay, let's get to the questions themselves. A single paper can really feel like a workout, testing a whole bunch of different skills. Let me show you what I mean by looking at two questions, one right after the other.
First up, we've got question 9. Now, this isn't just about punching numbers into a calculator. It's a geometry problem that's asking you to build a logical argument to prove something. It's testing your understanding of shapes, angles, and whether you can actually construct a solid proof.
And then, boom, the very next question, question 10. This is a total switch-up. It's classic algebra. It requires a completely different skill set, a really methodical step-by-step process to find the values of x and y. No proof needed, just pure, clean calculation.
So this is the big question, isn't it? When you've got a geometry proof right next to an algebra calculation, how on earth does an examiner mark them fairly? How do they stay consistent from one student's paper to the next? Well, the answer is in this one crucial document.
And here it is, the mark scheme. This is the document every single examiner has to follow. It's what makes sure your paper is marked in exactly the same way as everyone else's, no matter who's marking it or where they are.
You shouldn't think of this as some top-secret file. Honestly, the best way to see it is as the official rulebook for the exam. And you know what they say, once you know the rules, you can play the game a whole lot better.
Now, to understand the rulebook, you've got to learn the language. The mark scheme is full of these little abbreviations, kind of like a secret code for how marks are given out. So let's crack that code.
Okay, meet the 5 key players. You've got M for method. Did you use a valid approach? P is for process. Did you follow the right steps, especially in a longer problem? A is for accuracy. That's your classic right answer mark. But, and this is important, you often can't get it without the M or P mark first. Then there's C for communication. Did you actually write down your conclusion clearly? And finally, B is an unconditional accuracy mark. Basically, a straightforward point for a correct value, no method needed.
All right, enough theory. Let's see how this all works in the real world. We're going to take what we've just learned and apply it to an actual exam question to see exactly where those precious marks come from.
We're going to look at question 6. The whole point of this question was to calculate 2 different percentage increases and then figure out if one was more than 7 times bigger than the other. So it's not just about one calculation. It's about following a process and then making a final, clear judgment.
So before I show you the answers, just take a second to think. For a question like this, which parts do you think are about the process of calculating, and which part is about communicating that final answer? Where would you give out the marks?
Okay, so this is the official mark scheme for that question. I know it looks a bit intense, but it's perfectly logical once you break it down. It shows there are 3 marks up for grabs, 2 P marks for process, and 1 C mark for communication. Let's walk through it.
This just lays it all out so clearly. You get your first process mark, a P1, just for starting a correct process, like finding the difference in values for one of the items. You get the second P1 for correctly calculating both percentage increases. But to get that final, crucial C1 mark, you have to clearly state yes and then back it up with a direct comparison, like showing that 11.8 is definitely more than 7 times 1.5.
And this is probably the most important takeaway of all. The mark scheme rewards the process. So even if you messed up a calculation and your final number was a bit off, if you showed the examiner that you knew the right steps to take, you would still get those valuable P marks. This is exactly why showing your working is absolutely non-negotiable.
So, we've cracked the code. We've seen it in action. Now let's pull all of this together into a simple, powerful strategy you can actually use to turn what you know into marks on exam day.
Here are the 4 golden rules. Number 1, always show your working. It's literally your ticket to getting those method and process marks. 2, think about what the question is really asking for. Is it a method, a process, or a clear conclusion? 3, make sure you actually answer the question they asked. A list of numbers is useless if it asks for a yes or no answer. And 4, never ever leave a question blank. As we just saw, even just starting the correct process can get you on the scoreboard.
Look, understanding the mark scheme really does change everything. It's not just you against the exam paper anymore, it's you understanding exactly what the examiner is looking for. So the final question is for you. Knowing all this, how are you going to change the way you play the game?